A money ritual. How does it work? You know, when a skilled witch performs a money ritual for someone, there is a certain specificity to it. The thing is that she doesn't exactly nullify that person within this mathematical environment. Rather, she temporarily gives them a kind of new code. And the egregorial systems begin to perceive that person under a slightly different code, seeing them as a different individual. However, this effect does not usually last forever. The time of payment will come, and it will become clear that the person was merely walking under a false identity. That's when truly terrible things begin to happen. Life takes a devastating turn. And stage 4 cancer with the most excruciating pain. This is the least of what can happen. In other words, the price is usually extremely high. So high, in fact, that it makes one reconsider 20 times whether those millions were worth it. In another scenario, if someone manages to avoid paying, their children will end up paying instead. And usually, people who acquire wealth without the right to it end up with children who become addicts or are born with illnesses. In short, things rarely turn out well. Everything ends up going horribly wrong. And yet very few are willing to understand the sources and consequences of such things, and even the inevitable payment doesn't stop them. It just doesn't. Witches can ward this off by creating specific power objects. For example, they could craft a special amulet, a power object that constantly attracts money, so the egregores won't perceive the person. Instead, they will see the power object and judge it as the one who has the right to money. So, a warding poppet, which is not alive, yet holds a greater right to money than its owner. Meanwhile, the owner will be perceived as a gardener or a servant, someone of little importance. But sooner or later, the egregores will uncover this anyway. Moreover, a power object can be stolen or destroyed, leaving the person exposed. As a result, they will be completely unprotected from outside influence. And if a person is working on themselves and at the same time possesses an amulet or a power object, will everything be all right in that case? In that case, everything will be all right. However, the payment for the years spent using money without having the right to it will eventually come. Such objects are usually made for a period of 5 years, no longer, 7 years at most. After this period, the program itself loses its properties, as if the veil falls away and you become who you truly are. But if you have done the inner work by then, you will find it much easier to deal with the challenges that lie ahead. And this will actually work in your favor, because it will show that you have not only proven your right to money, but also that you have overcome certain trials. There are certain rituals that can ward the problem off into the future. This means the problem will still arise, but you will be granted a kind of carte blanche, a chance to breathe a sigh of relief, recover from your trouble, and rethink everything. Then, with all your wounds healed, your visor refreshed, and your armor reforged, you can return to your next battle in life. All of this can be done. And in fact, these are not the most complicated rituals. You just have to remember that the effect won't last forever. And if you remember that, you'll work more diligently. But if at some point your consciousness relaxes and says, well, I did all this on my own, nobody helped me, it was all me, whatever that witch did, she's probably just a fraud, it was all me. The moment such an attitude arises, that's when the consequences will be truly severe.